what is happening to Bitcoin now, and most importantly, what is happening to the altcoins, right? The most important thing is altcoin season still on, because I've been telling folks in my last couple of videos that Bitcoin and Ethereum had a lot of long-term holders and whales dumping on it. So that usually means basically it could take a bigger pullback or a longer pullback, right? And my thinking is the Bitcoin and Ethereum bullish momentum has been stopped, so therefore it's more likely to swing wildly sideways, right? Pullbacks could go as deep as, say, low 80s. It could even go to, in extreme cases, like 75K, if we had like the Japanese yen carry trade blow up like we had on August the 5th earlier this year. So I'm going to go through a couple of the Bitcoin and then see if the altcoin season is still on, and then I'm going to talk about a couple of altcoins at the end of this video. Okay, let's go straight into this. Basically, my thoughts were that Bitcoin is, so short-term Bitcoin, basically, like I've been saying, can I get back into this rising channel? That's why I called 108K the top here, right? It can't get back into above this channel, right? Flirted with it, then boom, back down. And now this 94K area, 93.5, that becomes the key support now. Basically, we don't want it more than 2 closes below here, below 93.5, and then it'll start doing, these ones back into the yellow area. So again, I'll show you guys again why this is so important for folks who has been following me. See, look, this is basically this large rising channel, or this large area that Bitcoin is in. I marked it in yellow. We really don't want to see Bitcoin break out and then boom, start coming back to trade in that area. Now, yesterday I compared this to a period that was in Bitcoin history. In May 2021, March to May 2021. Essentially, I said, if you've been following me in my videos, that I think Bitcoin is basically doing this one. Let's turn it to regular. Hope you guys all remember this period. This is back in, this thing started between February 21 to May 21. So that was like 3 months, right? 3 months, basically Bitcoin just swung up and down, yo-yoing. So I said, if we take that pattern, that chart pattern, and pasted it here, right, this is what we'd get. I'm expecting something like this. This is just the copy and paste from before. So, right, from when Bitcoin hit 64K. So basically we're seeing, this is something I have in mind, and for the folks who are just catching up now, the reason why I have that chart is because on the long-term chart, if we use a long log chart, a natural chart, we can also draw this line. And I was not sure if this line would, this natural chart trend line would be so helpful in predicting the top. But Bitcoin hit 108K and it came down. So it's looking like this line is valid. And also I called 108K, but that's from the rising channel you just saw. So the big worry is, if Bitcoin was to do this, then what happens to altcoins? If this scenario plays out, then what happens to altcoins? Then is altcoin season still on? So would altcoins still also just go sideways, go into fluctuation, right? If that happened to altcoins, then are we going to be, then what's the point of being in altcoin season? Well, I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen in altcoin season, right? I've got the analysis for you coming right now, plus some coins we're going to talk about. Some altcoins we're going to talk about. But first, let's answer the question of which crypto exchange does Pablo use? Well, Pablo prefers to use a non-KYC exchange. Non-KYC means they don't need your ID. So yes, Americans can use it because you don't need an ID to register. They don't know you're American, right? And for everyone else, it's total privacy, because then it means the government, the tax office, the IRS, nobody can see that it's you. Even the exchange doesn't know it's you, right? So if you're doing some selling now, like I've been saying, I'm doing some selling, I prefer to do it on a non-KYC exchange, and the one that I use is basically Bitunix, and right now they have this deal on right now the Pablo He-Man deal. It finishes in 2 days. 2 days left only. 2 days left only. Bitunix, deposit 100 USDT dollars, get 20 futures bonus. Deposit 1,000 USDT, get $200 futures bonus, right? And up to 5,500 USDTs worth of newbie prizes, but only if you sign up with the Pablo He-Man link, right? The link, when you get to the page, basically it's there. If you're on YouTube, then the link is in the description below, If you have some other platform, right, basically just go to my page and click on, my stand link, right, my personal page, Pablo He-Man, and it'll be the first thing that pops up. First thing when you click into my page, because that's a big deal right now. And I think it's, very useful for folks. And I know a few people who work there. So I've been using it myself because, you want to stay private. Okay, let's get back to the altcoins. So basically, look at this. The reason why I think altcoin season is going to be okay is because look at this. This is what happened, right? What Bitcoin did during Feb to May 2021. If my prediction is correct, if this scenario is correct, then let's have a look at what altcoins did during this period. So let's have a look at Bitcoin dominance. And when Bitcoin hit 64K, right? In February to May 2021. So here is Feb, right? Mid-Feb, right? And Bitcoin dominance is at what? That's 62%. And then by May, right, it got down to mid-May, got down to 40%. So it dropped from 62% to 40%. That means basically Bitcoin is holding steady, right? Swinging up and down between 60s and 50s, whilst altcoins went on a massive run. So, in fact, if you look at the shape of this drop right now, like you had a drop in Bitcoin dominance, fluctuates around, right? Retests, right? Some key resistance support levels, and then boom, and then it goes down. That could happen again. Look at this. We're right now in a similar situation. We've had this one drop and now testing some key levels here. Basically, this is what we call a lower high. And if this lower high holds, then hopefully we'll see something like this. Another lower low. And then you got a downtrend. So for the next 2 months, say till February or March, yes, Bitcoin could get stuck, like I'm showing you, sideways, right? Swinging between 80K to 115K. But you could have a major drop in Bitcoin dominance. This kind of drop just means Bitcoin swings sideways whilst altcoins go on a big run. Big altcoin season, that's what everyone's been waiting for. So essentially something, right, like Bitcoin, for example, on this chart, is swinging between here and 115K. That's 115 when we get up there. 115K, right? Because I'm saying it would stay below this red line for all this time. Could be wrong, but so far it's working. And then swing something as low as, say, well, this is not exactly accurate, but say like, 80 or 82K, because that's where the Fibonacci 0.618 retrace is. And bounce and swing between there like we saw in 2021 when Bitcoin hit 64K, but then the altcoins had a massive bull run. So that was the time, that was a great time. So altcoin season is still alive. Let's jump into a few altcoins. So here's Curve, for example. I'm going to talk about a few coins which I think it's very obvious that US Wall Street corporate adoption is coming, and so therefore they should do pretty well. They're not going to do 100x for you, but they could easily do another 3x, 4x, and they're relatively safer, right? Not financial advice, just relatively more stable. Let's say stable than the small coins, which does this all day. So Curve has also signed a massive deal with BlackRock, and we can see that it's still only at what, like 90 cents, below $1 here. And not even the all-time high, but like a significant high point here was $6. So that's still, good room to move. I bought some curve on the pullback here, right? The two support levels, one is at around 83 cents and one is around 71 cents. And you can see that it went just a little bit beyond to 69 cents, about 2 cents below there, So for the guys who are trading futures, right, you may not want your stops to be too tight, right? Give it a little room. And then it's still holding a bull flag. Like this is a standard bull flag right now. Once again, I do expect it to pull back. If it hits this 105, 107 area, I would expect a pullback. And then support at, again, 83. I've been putting some small DCA, dollar cost average orders here. The big dollar cost average order is around here, right? Low 70s, like 71, 72, right? And hopefully then we catch it in this bull flag for a bounce and breakout. When it breaks out, $1.25 is the first line of resistance. And of course, as I have been saying to folks, right, I am now in what you would call at least 50% defense mode. And what that means is basically 50% of the times I'm playing defense, if not more, if not like 60, 70%, because my last couple of videos showed you that Bitcoin long-term holders and Ethereum whales are dumping, right? So therefore, when I buy these coins at support and when it bounces up to resistance level, I would sell some. If I'm trading futures, I would take some profits, right? For a coin like Curve, and I'm about to show you a link, Chainlink next, right? These kind of coins, if I have high conviction that BlackRock, that Wall Street is going to adopt them and use them as their infrastructure, then I would maybe hold the spot coins for longer. Depends on your conviction level. Maybe just take 10%, 20% profit after a big bounce like this. For futures, maybe a little bit more because, futures can do this. So yeah, futures is not really for hodling, especially for folks using high leverage. And so let's move on to Chainlink. Link is another one that I like quite a lot. Let's see, Link. And it's for the same reason, basically because that BlackRock is rumored to be signing a deal with Link. And sometimes even though they're not announcing it yet, they could have already. BlackRock could already be buying Link. BlackRock might not buy Chainlink on the exchanges like Binance. BlackRock might buy Chainlink on something like over the counter, right? Over the counter trades. And when they buy over the counter, you basically cannot see that deal be made. You may not. I say you may, right? You may not feel it on the exchanges because it's not an exchange buying or selling. So Chainlink, good news is it's doing a big pullback. So looks a little bit weak in the short term. Let me just show you guys why. I'm updating it, the chart, right? Because, okay, first of all, let's look at it from the weekly. Weekly chart, now the high was what? All-time high was $53. Now it's still at $22, so still well below 50%. It went above the previous high in March, which is good, but now look, it's pulled back and it's hanging around the old high, and it's below this major resistance area. This resistance at 23.5 is not just the old high of March this year, but also this line was drawn because, look at this. It's basically 23.5 was support here, right? And resistance here. So that's a big level, 23.5. And right now it's closing below 23.5 on the weekly. So that means it could give us entry at the next support level if we want to get into Chainlink. Okay, next support level is around 19.43, 19.5. Let's call it, because we got a top here, and the pivot top almost hitting it just there, right? Say 19.3, 19.5, that sort of area. Now, on the weekly, on the daily, it looks even more problematic because now you could say we are in a let me just make sure this is log. Oops. Now we are in a head and shoulders pattern because you've got shoulder, head, shoulder. So here we go. So let's see if we can draw this trend line and make this work. Okay, here's the most obvious trend line before this head and shoulders developed. Okay, it's broken that trend line. So Link is in a little bit of a trouble in the short term here, right? Pulled back from 31 down to 20. So far like a 35% pullback. So look at this. Link has broken the supporting trend line that carried it since early November, right? Broke out of the range, broke down, and then retested the trend line and broke down again. So that's not good from a daily point of view, short-term point of view. And look at the head and shoulders here. Okay, I'm going to ignore the wicks and draw a head and shoulders neckline like this. So, yeah. So basically, we can see here is the shoulder, here's the head, here's the right shoulder, right? And basically, it's testing that neckline, about to break through that neckline. So this height of the neckline is from 20.68 to 30.84. So let's call it $10 with $10, 15 cents. And if this breaks this neckline again at this $22 area, then in theory goes down another $10 and 15 cents. So that will take us to $10 area. That will take us all the way, right? All the way, sorry, to $12 area. That will take us all the way to here. I mean, if it was to come all the way down to here, not saying it's impossible, but you'd need an extreme spike in Bitcoin to get it down to that level. If Bitcoin, like say, hits 75, and then on a day like that, you might have a panic sell and a wick down to 12 something. So I'm not expecting that type of move with Link, especially with the BlackRock deal floating about. So just to be safe, let's draw two supporting levels here. Do we have another supporting level in here? I see a lot of, yeah, there is. It's around here. So we've got a pivot top here, right? And a couple of kind of a pivot bottom here, and definitely a number of pivot tops here, right here. And so the level, I know there's a head and shoulders here going on the daily chart, but if you take this seriously, and then the target is at $10 area, at $12 area. In extreme circumstances, Chainlink can get there, but I'm thinking maybe it breaks something like first level support 19.3, 19.5. That's an area to pick some up, and then 16.67, 6.5, and then the big area is 14 point something, right? Low 14s, like 14.2, 14.3, that sort of area. And if we do get a bounce here, then obviously this $31 area is the resistance, and then this $35 area for folks who are on futures trading and they want to take some profits. So just be prepared that we could get some really big wild swings in crypto in the next 3 months. Bitcoin, right, per my theory, per my analysis, is probably going to do these ones, just like 21, Feb to March, Feb to May, when Bitcoin was at 64K. But however, they had a massive, right, altcoins bull run in that scenario. And if that does happen, then that would be great. But be prepared for both scenarios. So that's why I'm not selling everything. I'm not buying all in either. I'm playing defense. I'm buying support, selling some resistance. Buying support, selling some resistance. Okay, folks, tune in. Thank you for your time. Tune in for my next episode. Cheers. Catch you. Bye.